What do you get when you combine a fan, a mannequin, and a battery together? That's right, you get a turbine generator from the Black Ops 2 Zombies map, Transit. So without further ado, I'll be making a DIY version of this, except a little bit smaller. For the first step of this build, I got a soda bottle and began melting the middle portion of it. This will be the basis for our mannequin. I then got some tin foil and stuffed it with cotton and then folded it over itself. I then hot glued it to the base of the soda bottle. I then did the same exact process except a smaller version, and I glued it to the top instead. I then cut a styrofoam ball in half and glued it to the front portion of the mannequin to give it its, you know what, I'm just gonna say it. I made its tits. Next, I got some painter's tape and just wrapped the whole thing up just to keep everything all together. I then got more styrofoam, glued them to caps, and glued them in an upward facing angle to the bottle. These will act as the shoulders for the mannequin figure. Then, just like the body, I used masking tape and taped it all together to keep it in place. As you can see, we start having a mannequin figure taking shape. Now for the next step, I made the base. To do this, I cut a bunch of popsicle sticks together to make a couple Z shapes. I then glued these all together to make the base for the mannequin stand. Once I had the bare skeleton of it, I began adding more popsicle sticks to really just make it stronger so it would not snap under the weight of the items we were putting on it. And then got a wooden dowel and then glued that straight up to the base and let that dry. While that was drying, I used my wood burner and burned a small hole into my soon-to-be mannequin form. Then once that was done, I attached the base to the body. Then to smooth out all the wrinkles from the body, I then used paper mache and added it all over the body to give it a nice uniform texture. Once that was dry, I got a few pieces of clay and began molding that over the base to add decoration and reinforcement. Once it was all said and done, these are the shapes that I got. I then sprayed the base a dark brown and the body of the mannequin a light khaki color and set that out to dry. While that was drying, I began to make my battery. To do this, I got an empty tea box and began painting just the middle portion black. Then using painter's tape, I covered up what I painted and began to paint over that all in a nice bright red color. I took it off, and as you can see, we have the basis to the battery. I then did a quick sketch of what needed to be on the battery, and as you can tell, I did not know what goes on some portions of the battery, so I improvised a little bit. Once I had the basic sketch of it, I got my bright yellow paint and just traced over it. I then broke off the eraser ends of 2 pencils, spray painted them silver, and glued them to the battery. Once that was finished, I got a wood board, cut it to size, and began gluing the base and the battery to the board, along with a few extra details such as marker caps that I painted silver. Once that was done drying, I then got some twine and began wrapping that all around the base of the battery. This acted as decoration and support for the whole project. For the next step, I began making the head or the actual turbine of the build. For this, I just cut a piece of foam and got a soda can and glued it together. Once it was dry, I spray painted it silver, and then to add a rust color, I sprayed light dusts of brown all over it. Then for the fin, I just traced a piece of cardboard and then cut it out. Then using one of the pencils I used earlier, I glued that into it and began painting it a somewhat off-white color. While that was drying, I did the same process as I did to the can with a deck of cards to make it a nice rustic metal look. Then inserted the wing piece towards the back. I secured it with glue and let that dry. Secondly, I got a fan and spray painted that to give it a nice old-fashioned antique look. I glued it to the end of my bottle and used a popsicle stick for extra support. Then using more twine, I wrapped around my mannequin to secure it. Once it was secure, this is what I had so far. I then got a small women's belt, cut it into a small, almost collar shape, and then used that as the front belt to the mannequin. And that completed my mini turbine generator. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I realize I have not been posting so much due to the fact that I've been so busy with school, but now that school is out, I will have much more time to upload new content. So please subscribe, like, and comment on any ideas of what I should make next.